We're porking it out. Pulled pork on top, pork rinds, and of course the hot dog is fully pork. This is Miss Brown's dog. All right, so I'm making the rub for my pulled pork on top. It's a very simple rub. Got some brown sugar in this bowl, some ground mustard, my house seasoning, and a little salt and a little cayenne pepper. So I'm gonna mix this rub together. In this bowl right here, I have about 2 pounds of boneless pork shoulder. I'm gonna pour this rub in here and rub my pork shoulder down. I have my pressure cooker over there that I'm gonna cook this really quick. I want it to get nice and soft and tenderized, so a pressure cooker or an instant cooker will do that in a snap. All right, so I've rubbed my pork down. Let me wash my hands. So my pressure cooker is on saute right now. Put a little oil in here. I'm gonna saute my pork shoulder. I'm gonna get them nice and brown on both sides. So here's the advantage of using a pressure cooker. This would normally take me about 3 to 4 hours to do this in a Dutch oven in the oven. This will be done in 45 minutes or less. What I'm doing by sauteing the pork shoulder before putting in all the extra sauces is that you're gonna get a nice brown caramelization on the meat. And all the caramelized bits at the bottom of this is gonna help enhance that sauce that's gonna go into this pork shoulder. I'm gonna add 1 cup of chicken broth. This is gonna create a sauce in here. A little over a half a cup of barbecue sauce. I'm gonna mix it up. All right, I'm taking it off saute. Now I'm gonna put it on pressure cook. Make sure my lid is secured, and you wanna make sure that your vent is closed because you need that pressure to stay in the pot, okay? All right, so while that goes, I'm gonna get started on my cabbage slaw. Now this slaw is gonna go on top of the hot dog. I am making the pickling juice for the cabbage. I have 3/4 cup of water, 3/4 cup of white distilled vinegar. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of salt and about 2 tablespoons of sugar. So it's sweet, it's a little salty, and lots of vinegar. So while the sugar and salt dissolves, I'm gonna grab my cabbage and my onion. So I'm just gonna use just about half. I love using red cabbage for the color. You can use a green cabbage. You can actually use that stuff that's already made in the bag. That'll work perfectly too, but I think red cabbage is really fun with this type of hot dog. And I'm just shredding my cabbage. This looks like enough cabbage. I'm gonna get started on my onion. And I'm probably just gonna use half of this onion as well. All right, so I've mixed my red onion in with my red cabbage. I'm just gonna add it to my jar here. You wanna fill it just enough until it reaches a little way to the top. You don't wanna overfill it because of course I gotta put that liquid in there. So I'm gonna let this cool down before I add my top, and let me check on my pressure cooker. Oh, look at this pork. So I'm gonna ladle in my pork into this bowl so I can shred it. All right, so I have 2 forks here. I'm gonna pull my pork shoulder apart with the forks. Let me show you how beautiful. Look at that. Just falling apart. You literally could just eat it just like this. Okay, I'm gonna grill my dogs. I have my pork franks. I have my griddle nice and hot. Once these hot dogs cook and get nice and charred, it's gonna open up because I split it down the middle. It's gonna open up, it's gonna create almost a bed for the pulled pork, that cabbage, and the pork rinds on top. So my dogs are getting nice and charred. Look at that. Ooh, those are pretty. All right, I'm gonna let it cook on that side. See, that's what I like right there. Those beautiful charred lines on there, nice and crispy on the edges. I wanna build one dog. Let's see. Grab that one, that looks nice and charred. I'm gonna start off with my spicy mustard, add some of that pulled pork. All right, next is the pickled cabbage. Next, the pork rinds. I'm gonna add some crunch, just gonna add some salty flavor. Crush it on top. Oh, okay. All right, ain't nothing to it but to do it. It's crispy, it's salty, there's texture, there's flavor. This is not your boring old ballpark Frank. This is Miss Brown's dog.